All right. So in the red, we've got Vivi. This is going to be consistent throughout the whole best of 7. And then in the yellow, we have Indians. Did I just say Indian? We have TaToH playing as Indians. Sorry, Berbers versus Indians. Berbers is a pretty standard pick for this. It's standard for this and a map called Eruption. And both of those maps have lots of important areas in the middle. And so the approach I've seen from Berbers throughout these settings, as TaToH considers trying to snipe a villager there, is just don't do an awful lot until Castle Age. You can see even Vivi has left his scout at home. That way, if TaToH tries to attack a villager, he has a scout to protect. You start with the barracks in this game mode, right? So if you really are worried about more scouts, you can make spearmen. And yeah, this is fairly common for Berbers. Just wall up. Do not make that stable like TaToH clearly has. And just try and get to the next stage. And then that's where you have cheap knights. That's where you have cheap camels. And there's a hole here, guys. I don't know why. Vivi must have deleted that for some reason and forgot about it. Oh, man, that's a sloppy mistake. Might not even end up losing a villager, but think of the efficiency of TaToH's economy compared to Vivi's right now. Vivi's had 4 or 5 villagers walling. These villagers aren't on deer yet. And those villagers had to be pulled away. And now these scouts are going to be annoying, too. Yeah, this is going to be... This is a sloppy start for Vivi. And exactly what TaToH would have wanted. Just TaToH made a stable, and TaToH's invested into scouts. But I like how he stopped it, too. I also do like the patience of the scouts as well. It's almost better to annoy Vivi and make sure his eco is not efficient than it is to get a villager kill and then be done with your scouts. Yeah, so Razzle T, this entire tournament is all Empire Wars. As TaToH's even forcing more idle time underneath the TC. It's all feudal age start with 27 pop. The Red Bull Wololo has different settings. And I honestly know as a caster, I need to look here right now. Because it's my job to show you what's happening. But the amount of anxiety I'm getting because of TaToH's scout is killing me here, guys. Look at this eco. Still got an idol over here. Finally, the scout goes down. But these villagers are chopping the other side of the wood line. These villagers, there's like 4 spearmen underneath the TC. It's pretty brutal to watch. So TaToH will be very happy with that. And actually, even though he's invested more into military, having made the stable and made the scouts, TaToH ends up having the better castle age time at the end of the day. So I think TaToH was just put himself in a great position. And Vivi was very sloppy with that opening. And that tree is at 20 wood. TaToH loses the scout, though. Yeah, it might be an overchop, but it's only 2 scouts. So, the one thing I'll say is TaToH's not walled. He's not committed any time to walling. And then he also sold 100 stone to go up pretty quickly here, which means if he's going to add additional town centers, he can only add 1. It's a little weird to me how he sold the stone, but I think he felt so much pressure because he's expecting Vivi to be up to Castle Age faster than him. So he probably felt the pressure to get to Castle Age quickly. He doesn't know right now how good that opening was for him, but he'll know when he sees how delayed Vivi is. And okay, so we'll be double stable for Vivi, which is a good approach. Now, Vivi also had to sell some stone. And Vivi, when looking at that price, if he paid attention to it, should realize if you're getting 89 gold per 100 stone, that means TaToH sold 100 stone. Because when you sell the first 100 stone, the market price gives you 91 gold. So there might be some idea that this is going to be somewhat YOLO. Indians cannot make knights. They can make camels. And their camels are high pierce armors, so they're good against archers. We're not going to see many archers here. So, what you probably do in Vivi's position is just make your own camels. And try and mass more, because they're cheaper. Which kind of sucks, right? Because you want to YOLO with Berbers, and you want to kill Vills. How are you going to accomplish villager kills with camels? It's not really the best raiding tool. Okay. We shall see. Lots of spearmen might make TaToH think that the enemy might go pikemen. But I think if you force Berbers to go pikemen instead of relying on just their stable units, it's a bit like it's like forcing Britons to go into knights, you know? You're like, great, I'm really happy that Britons are not playing with their best unit right now. It's kind of the same with this situation. So, TaToH going to come down here to the lowlands. And he is, he's going to take that golden wood line. And here he is knocking on the door. And Vivi's best response to this, best way to come back from this. Does TaToH want to take that fight? He's trying to be cute here. He must have a monastery at home. I think that's a little risky. Best way for Vivi to get numbers out is go for 3 stables, which is what we're seeing. Monastery for Vivi is a good approach. When you're going stable units, you tend to see lots of monks out. And I think TaToH, yep, TaToH already has his monk on the way. Which, I was thinking he'd send the weak camels back to heal up, which is why he was trying to take those fights. Pikeman as well for Vivi. So you know what this could be, guys? If Vivi realizes TaToH has the TC, which probably should come in a moment. TaToH going for conversion there. Actually won't get it. I think what Vivi should do is go for a siege push. Oh, the pikeman gets some big hits in here. And yeah, look at the military count. Come forward with 2 vills and make a siege workshop and try and push that TC down. Actually, TaToH's also not fully walled over here, so you might want to forget about siege push and actually raid with camels. TaToH doesn't get a conversion there, and TaToH, it was a good opening for him, and adding the second town center is great, but he's going to need military and monks to defend himself here. There's the siege workshop. Now that's... Vivi's tilting me with this. In the previous game... Oh, never mind. Never mind. TaToH can't see it. But if you remember in the previous game, as TaToH's added a 3rd town center now, Vivi's siege workshop was within TaToH's line of sight, and so TaToH knew it was coming. Somehow TaToH can't see that. I can't explain that, but it's really close. That says, don't you think Empire Wars is boring because games are often decided so quickly and kind of linear? I prefer standard settings. I don't think it's boring. I think it's different. I think if Empire Wars was the standard, I would not like that. I like them both for different reasons. Some people might argue, you could make an argument that Standard Age of Empires is more boring because it's slower. So it just depends what you're into, man. Some people like the settings more. Some people like the settings less. Some people like me think that it's a good change of pace. I think if what makes this special is we don't see it a lot. If we saw it all the time, it would be a problem. The 10 villager lead for TaToH. Like Leo says, Empire Wars is more exciting for viewing. I disagree with that statement. I don't think either one is like better or worse. I think that they're just different. But again, everyone's going to have a different outlook. And TaToH might have a 10 villager lead, but that 10 villager lead would all disappear if you were to lose this right here. So, as the pikemen go down and TaToH's military numbers are recovered, what happens here? And Vivi gets 2 villagers, and TaToH's TC is going to start to melt. TaToH's only had camels and monks. He's now getting redemption. Great move. With redemption, monks can then convert enemy siege. He does have some monks out here, but kind of panic mode here, right? He has to add a monastery behind this. We'll have to repair this TC. This is Vivi's perspective. Cannot see the monastery. TaToH, this is just so... It's just... I don't know if greedy's the word, but it's just so crazy how these guys are able to do these small things that balance it out. It feels like he's going to snag this relic, which will be his first relic, and then try and use all 3 monks at the same time. But if I were him, I'd say it's more important that I need the monk here now. I'm not going to get that relic until after something happens with the fight. And it looks like 1 Mangonel's converted, 2 Mangonel's converted. Siege push maybe not as much of a problem now. And for TaToH, is he going to be able to take out the 3rd Mangonel? Is he going to have camel numbers remaining here? Seems like that fight could have been better for Vivi. He had pikemen there, but he fought with the pikemen without his own camels. And now he's sitting here on with this 1 TC YOLO play, probably thinking, well, if I can't kill that town center, TaToH's got 2 more. Is TaToH just going to overwhelm me with numbers eventually? Really poor fight for TaToH to take here, I think. Really poor fight for him to take. Weaken some of his camels, but he has 72 villagers. Now, I noticed Vivi's gone to stone. And this is not for a second TC because the 100 stone's been there for a while. So I think this is so this YOLO push continues. And we might see a follow-up with a castle drop. Now, if a castle would have gone down here, there's no way TaToH stops that. TaToH needs to work his way towards higher military numbers. That is a big concern for him long-term, but in theory, he should be able to get there, right? With his eco. And he's going to go pikeman. Yeah, good switch for him. See Vivi getting armor. Final armor in Castle Age for the camels. TaToH losing a camel to a conversion. Could lose camels to get this next monk. Takes out the Maganel. I mean, TaToH's losing a lot of his military to take out siege and monks right now. He doesn't have anything now. I think that he's been overly greedy with these snipes. Just making the wrong decisions. His monks now don't have any protection. The TC could go down. TaToH's villagers, and I know they're cheap, but the villagers are here to try and take out the rams. What in the world is this? The villagers are back inside the TC. These villagers are getting hit. That ram's actually on 1 HP. Another ram comes in. I don't know where this ram is going for Vivi. This is crazy. TaToH has 20 extra villagers, but he also has 20 idols right now. And if he loses this town center, his vill lead will disappear. And then he will not have lowlands control. I don't see any way TaToH changes what's happening on our screen right now. He's either going to lose villagers as he takes out rams, and they're not working. Or he loses the TC, and he loses the villagers, and then the villagers cannot work because they're in the grave. Like, doing what TaToH's doing right now feels like it's just inevitable the TC's going to go down, unless he gets more military. He's got pikemen out, guys. Maybe the pikemen will do it, but he's trickling them in. Oh, man. TC now at 700 HP, 500 HP. Another ram on the way. Scorpions would make sense for Vivi. But he seems really set on trying to take out that town center, which will happen now. It does happen. Villagers scramble away. What a game we have here. And what a series. You know, I'll be honest. I didn't think Vivi would be making the right calls in these types of situations today. This is a really good call for him. And now if the enemy is only going pikes, if you drop a castle with Berbers, you can go camel archers, which just seems like the perfect switch. Sending archers out for pikes plus mobile archers is sick. Now another TC for TaToH, who still has a 15 villager lead. And this is on stone. And oh my god, wait a second. This might not go up. Is this going to go up? Vivi needs to make sure he has military numbers. He's going to drop this castle in TaToH's face. But it's not like... Oh, man, no, he's going to win that fight. He is going to win that fight. And then he'll have rams underneath the castle. If he has rams underneath the castle... Oh, wait, no. This is what I was thinking about. He doesn't have enough here. Vivi, you got to quick wall those vills, man. If he would have castled the middle, everything would be fine, right? Castle the middle, everything's fine. It's not that big a deal. You've already done damage, and then you can make camel archers. But you're not going to make a single attempt to protect your villagers with walls. Pikemen finally added up for TaToH. But then again, pikemen are really good poor against villagers. This castle's going up. This castle will go up regardless. And actually, he didn't lose too many villagers in the process. And then all of TaToH's pikemen are in harm's way. His buildings are going to get rammed down. His monastery, which has a relic, is going to get rammed down. And now Vivi can also make camel archers. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff here. I think TaToH was a little quick to the third TC. I know with Indians, your villagers are cheap, so you think you can do that. But he just lacked military numbers. You got to expect some type of a YOLO play from Vivi. So instead of going for a 3-town center lead, maybe just go for 2. And I think if you go for 2, you're going to have a vill lead, and you can at least defend yourself. More town centers for TaToH. Again, he's got a civ that is so good at rebooming because the villagers get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper every age. Namaste. No fletching yet for Vivi. Vivi sees that town center and will move around over here. And TaToH will lose all these buildings on the front, like I said, and he's just going to go for siege defense right now. Also added a ram. I think a part of TaToH is thinking about ram pushing this down, but that's going to be tough. The reason TaToH added the tower was because he thought for a moment there he could deny the castle. He thought with pikemen and a tower he could deny it. And those are like split-second decisions. You have to decide right away. So it kind of, I mean, for a moment there, it looked to us like the pikemen and tower might have been able to do it. But pikemen are just so weak against vills. And okay, Vivi did not know there was a town center, but kills one villager. And should kill another one here. And now has another spot for another castle if need be. But I think Vivi should go for a TC at some point, right? Like, I don't know. Doesn't really have the eco setup that makes me think, like, second TC is all that doable. Only 18 on food. And he's just going to transfer more to stone. And now, if these rams were repaired, and I think Vivi's sending in villagers to repair them, you could actually just go round 2 here. He's mixing in knights. Oh, yeah, this is such a sick game for Vivi, man. Who needs booming, man? Who needs eco? None of that's important. At the same time, TaToH's trying to think about a ram push to ram this down. It would be pretty funny if TaToH loses these TCs and then Vivi loses the castle. But Vivi's got knights, camel archers, and could always make... I think if you're worried about that type of a push from TaToH, you should have a Mangonel behind your castle. But he does not know. He's more focused on this. And TaToH might see this as his opportunity to push that castle down. It's so funny to me how players make building foundations to delay when siege comes in, because building foundations are what siege counters. But it does buy a little bit of time, so it makes sense. TaToH looping the pikes around with the Mangonel here. And 5 rams is the magic number. If you're going to go for something like this, 5 rams is the way to go in Castle Age. Oh, man. Really poor fight for those knights for Vivi, but he does take out the TC. He also might take out the Mangonel. TaToH's villagers are not going to like that, though, and they're going to go in for repairs here. But the Camel Archer should be able to take out the Mangonel pretty quickly, I think, if he were to focus fire that. Most of the pikemen are disappearing. TaToH about to make his move. He might load pikemen up into the rams. TaToH still ahead in villagers, but so many of them idle. 3 hours of idle time. And there's still more siege here to take out the next TC. And Vivi says, who needs that? When I could drop another castle. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Ambulance for TaToH. I don't know what got into me there. I've never said those words before in my life, but this is crazy, man. And TaToH's going to go for his own castle, but that's not going to work because the camel archers are there. So basically, Vivi's going to lose this castle. TaToH's going to get excited. TaToH's not going to get this castle up. Vivi's going to get excited, and then Vivi's just going to have another castle anyways. I mean, I suppose, look at this cheeky move, villager repairing the ram. I suppose that TaToH could try and swing his rams in here next. Is this actually going to go down? Feels like that's going to go down. Yeah, it goes down, but I don't think TaToH's going to have enough to follow this up with. Look at that eco KD. And with all this aggression, the Fat Dragon has 80 eco, and TaToH now has 82. These villagers are running away. TaToH doesn't have wheelbarrows, so they are so painfully slow. Quick, guys, invent the wheelbarrow so we can run away from the enemy faster. Vivi's got to be careful not to lose this castle. That's a lot of pike ram. And most of the camel archers are chasing this down. I honestly think you only need like 3 camel archers here. As we see Vivi going for supplies. So wait, is he going to go longsword with camel archer? And TaToH's coming. Oh my god. Oh my god. This might be TaToH's only way back, honestly. Because otherwise I think he's dead. So he's going to try and get a castle down here. So he's sending in more vills. And he's brought in his rams with his pikes. This is sick. TaToH's castle goes up. And Vivi's castle could easily go down. If TaToH brings this back with this type of a gutsy play, what a moment, man. Yeah, these villagers over here, some of them actually still survived. Knights, camel archers kind of in an awkward spot. Villagers in an awkward spot too. TaToH at 80 villagers, 38 military. Vivi at 21. What is this game, dude? What is this game? Like, I'm not uploading most of these games to YouTube. You know, it's 4 best of 7s is 10 hours, and it's just a lot of stuff. So, but I'm thinking as far as individual games go, this is incredible. Like now, and now Vivi's longsword play makes a whole lot less sense because TaToH has a castle up. It's hard to push with infantry there. Camel archers in the back of TaToH's eco, but Vivi very distracted. So imagine there's going to be either a loss of camel archers or a loss of vills here. And it seems like it's going to be a loss of vills and maybe a loss of a TC. As we see a university here for Vivi. Who's still only on men-at-arms right now. Longsword is on the way, though. Look at the idle time for both players. 4 hours, 4.5 hours of idle time for TaToH. And 2 hours of idle time for Vivi. But I can't help but notice that Vivi just lacked siege behind his castles. To invest into the camel archers and then not be able to make them now really hurts. I think that was his biggest mistake, is not having siege behind his castles. But wow. TaToH kind of abandoning most of his upper land eco to come to the middle now. And he's going to drop a castle! He's going to drop a castle, and Vivi is just... He's really struggling to deal with this situation. For every camel archer that's lost, he cannot replenish it at this point, right? There's no way that castle gets denied, even by the moon-rolling Maganel. That Maganel means business. Maganel Jackson over there. And now Vivi's going to have to relocate villagers, and that Maganel's going to go down. So you finally get a Maganel forward, and then it does that. Brutal. I think both economies are definitely in states of shock right now. Like, the villagers probably cannot believe they're still alive, while at the same time feeling like they, I don't even know what to say right now, honestly. Vivi is going to get another castle, but TaToH's got 2. And now he's adding stables again. He's got decent food and gold eco to maybe make camels. And Vivi is trying to run around with the camel archers, who, if they get hit by pikemen, will die. So TaToH's just trying to make a little trap for him. Oh my goodness, what a play again from TaToH. Crazy game here, man. It was like he dreamt that up. It was all part of his plan. And it's a trap, ladies and gentlemen. The camel archer goes down. Ah! Another castle! And that castle's gonna go up too! And then the longswords are coming in. They're like, well, I heard we had a job. We don't know where the pikemen are, but we're here. And this is going to go up. And that's going to deny everything that TaToH has in the middle. So TaToH now can't take wood. TaToH now can't take gold. TaToH now needs rams. And Vivi needs to get freaking Maganels behind here, man. He needs to get 2 Maganels behind his castle. Look, TaToH's going to make rams. If Vivi doesn't make Maganels behind there, I'm going to scream. Even more than I already am screaming as TaToH comes over. Nice low elo legend mining camp. I like it. No, listen, guys. If people misplace farms, not that I know anyone who does. If people misplace buildings in general in the late game, it's because their APM is because they're so fast, they can't pay attention to small things like this. This is trivial. It's not important. So really, the players who make the biggest mistakes are really the fastest players with most potential. That's all I'm trying to say. 113 population versus 90. TaToH is well behind in eco and army now. But he's going to ram this down, I think. And Vivi refuses to add Maganels behind castles, which makes me very upset. Like, I want to say Vivi has the eco lead. I wanted to say TaToH had the eco lead. But, like, the lack of efficiency with their economies are insane. Vivi's got 47 on wood. So you're going to need to get some of that into farms, pull villagers off of wood, and get that into gold and stone. Well, you know, Vivi holding on. I guess he needs some use of the longswords and villagers that are here. So, wow, TaToH calls it. TaToH calls it. You know, longswords and knights were in the back. That would have done some damage. Here, Vivi had just noticed this with some longswords, so TaToH couldn't take gold. TaToH was essentially goldless in a moment, because he would be off this back gold and just couldn't. It didn't seem like he had enough to push this castle down in the end. Vivi had more middle control, and what a game that was. Seriously, that was insane. If this game ends up going to YouTube, I'm going to make sure that I have the full best of 7 for those that are interested on the YouTubes. And again, this is a best of 7 to see who makes it into Red Bull Wololo 4. None of that is none of the main events ever on my channel. It's always on the Red Bull channel, but exciting times for Age of Empires. But is Vivi back? But listen, I know there's a lot of people out there who were all on the Jordan is back train, you know, when Jordan returned. Vivi, his peak days, the peak fat dragon, fat pig, whatever you call them back then days of 2018, 2019. And I would have gone into this best of 7 saying that TaToH, I think I said yesterday, TaToH to win 4-2. To see Vivi up 2-1 right now, and you could even make arguments that Indians counter Berbers in a lot of ways. A little bit of a surprise to me, guys. And let's look at the statistics. Yeah, I mean, you've got gold and stone income, and that's really all she wrote, right? That's what that map's about. TaToH just didn't do enough to secure it. I think he went to the third TC a little early, personally. When you invest 275 wood into a town center, that's expensive. And then you need resources to produce out of it to justify it. You go for 2 additional town centers right away in Castle Age. You better make sure that you're going to have military there, and he just didn't. He didn't have enough, anyways. A lot of that, though, could have been the power of Berbers and how many of those camels they're able to mass. Okay. Yeah, one of the best games of the qualifier so far for me, in terms of how back and forth it was. I like the commitment from Vivi with that 1 TC aggression. It's what was needed to win, but it's such a rare thing in our meta to see that 1 TC YOLO